It's time for Bring Your Own Lunch, a podcast for your whole face, with your host, Dave T. Koenig.
All right, come on in, have a seat, welcome. This is the Bring Your Own Lunch podcast at bringyourownlunch.com, the magic of iTunes, the majesty of Stitcher, and however you found your way to download this podcast, where we hear personal stories about the business. I thank you. As you heard at the top, my name is Dave T. Koenig. I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, comedian, all-around swell fella, and I once punched out Mike Tyson. No, Sicily. I punched out Cicely Tyson. It was Cicely Tyson's Punch-Out. It was a very obscure video game. And of course, I'm the host of the podcast you're listening to right now. BYOL is the hashtag we use if you want to give us a shout-out on Facebook at facebook.com/bringyourownlunch or Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can always go to our website, bringyourownlunch.com, and of course, you can go to iTunes. We're on there, and we'd love it if you would rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, share the stuff on iTunes. That helps us bring the word out to more people as we bring this podcast out into the world and continue what we're doing, which has so far been a great ride, and I'm glad you're part of it. This week, part 2 of my conversation with Dion Flynn, actor-comedian who is the resident president on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Last week, if you haven't heard it yet, I had a great time talking with him, and the night we recorded that interview, we just went so long that it was easy enough to split it up into 2 episodes. So if you haven't listened to part 1, I'm going to stop right now, and I will wait until you go listen to part 1 so you can have a full context of what's going on as we listen to part 2. So go ahead. I'm gonna stop. I'll wait. I'm not gonna go any further. You just go listen to part 1, and then we'll pick it up from here as we move forward. All right, in case those folks are thinking that we're not going to stop, I'm just going to keep going because it's silly. It's a podcast. You can just hit pause. So if anybody actually did stop there and are going to listen to part 1, ha 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 on them. But the conversation I had with Dion last week was a lot of fun. I gotten some really nice reaction to it. I appreciate that. And we got a little bit of his history and some of the trouble he went through. For this part of the interview, we talk a lot about his relationship with Jimmy Fallon and how the two of them met, which was many years ago, up in Albany, and how he maintained his relationship and managed to end up working with and for Jimmy Fallon, who has become obviously one of the more preeminent figures on television these days. Certainly is sitting in a lofty spot held by guys like Johnny Carson and Jack Parr and Steve Allen way back when. For a time, Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien were in the chair. But I think right now Jimmy Fallon is doing a great job bringing the position of Tonight Show host back up where it had been at one point. And if you're not familiar, it used to be where the guy who sat in the host chair in the Tonight Show used to wield tremendous power on television. Now, things obviously have changed because the landscape has changed, and there are far fewer, or should I say, there are far more options on television than there were before. Back then, there were far fewer channels. You didn't have competition at 11:30 or midnight whenever they aired it, depending on what year it was. But Johnny Carson especially turned the Tonight Show host chair into like a throne. He was the king of television, and he could make or break careers. And right now, Jimmy Fallon is kind of doing that for others, including Dion Flynn, who you'll hear from as we hear part 2 of that interview. I am 1 week removed or so from shooting an episode of Allegiance. I had a small part on what is going to be an NBC replacement series or mid-season replacement series coming up shortly. And it's an interesting show. If you are familiar with The Americans, which is a show on FX that tells the story of a couple who are KGB spies who are posing as Americans back in the 1980s. They have infiltrated us and are actually conducting spy activity on behalf of the Russians back in the Baltimore area back in the 1980s. This is they describe this series as sort of an Americans in current day life. So you have some people who are posing as Americans, but they're actually Russian spies living in the U.S. During today's day and age. So it's an interesting story, and It stars Hope Davis and Scott Cohen. I had a great time. It was a one-day shoot. I got a chance to work with the director, who's also the writer and creator of the series, I believe, George Nolfi, who is a really fantastic director. He was super cool. We collaborated well for whatever time I could say I collaborated with him. I'll take credit for it. He's worked a lot with Matt Damon. He worked on The Adjustment Bureau and The Bourne Ultimatum, and he wrote Ocean's 12. He wrote The Bourne Ultimatum, and he actually directed and wrote The Adjustment Bureau. And he is the writer and producer and director of Allegiance. So he's got his hands on all of it, and the crew is great. So that is definitely a feather in his cap that they are functioning so well, and they all seem to be very, very cool. And the two people I performed with in the scene that I was in, Floriana Lima and Gavin Stenhouse, couldn't have been nicer. They were super awesome. So I hope that does well. I think based on my experience, I like it when good things happen to good people, and I had a terrific experience. So I'm hoping that they will be able to continue making that series for as long as they want, and that's my hope, at least. I decided I'm going to keep doing the video shout-outs. I originally wasn't going to. I thought I would do that as a, every once in a while thing, but why not? Let me throw out another video shout-out. This week, it's Zach King. If you're not familiar with Zach King, he is sort of called the Vine Magician, but really what he is an amazingly talented video editor. And he's taken advantage of the Vine format, which is 6-second videos that people share with one another and then revine, and then things become viral. As with everything else online these days, it's very difficult to develop a following. It's very difficult to be distinct. It's very difficult to make it worthwhile. I've tried, and I just don't have the bandwidth to do it. More figuratively than literally. But you take a guy like Zach King, who just decided to start making 6-second videos and put them up there. And it's very hard to make 6 seconds worth something, but this guy does it. And I won't tell you too much about it other than the video tricks he does, which are in their own way magic, are just terrific. So I'm posting up on bringyourownlunch.com some of the compilations, or one of the compilations of his Vine videos. I also will post my little Zach King-esque Vine that I did that he actually responded to, which was very cool, considering the fact that he has 1 million people watching his videos, watching his Vines. And if you're not familiar with how Vine works, you can monetize your videos. And people can make a decent amount of money making these 6-second videos. It's the wave of the future, or the wave of the present, if you want to think of it that way. But there is a lot of attention being made, or being given to 6-second videos and stuff on YouTube. And the world is changing rapidly as we speak. And the best thing any of us can do is embrace it, use it, and take advantage of it. And sort of that's what this podcast is. And I still got to figure out a way to make myself something that'll get 1 million people following me for 6 seconds at a time. Actually, 1 million people following me for 6 seconds at a time. I just don't want that in real life, because that's a lot of people, and you add up all that time. Yeesh. Got some people to thank before we go anywhere. Of course, Banooba.net, BANOOBA.net. They are the folks that provide the music at the beginning, middle, and end of this show, and they are terrific. So check out their website, find out where they will be performing, and download some of their music. Go on, do it. We're just a couple of weeks away from the next New York Short Film Shootout. New York Short Film Shootout number 5, Tuesday, November 18th at 8 p.m. at Treehouse Theater. That's 154 West 29th Street. I'll get that right someday. In New York City, New York, right in the middle of Manhattan there. And we will be bringing you another great lineup of short films. We have announced the lineup. You can see it at nysfso.com. That takes you to the Facebook page, and from the Facebook page you can see the event page. All these pages. So much going on. It's crazy. Anyway, you can see the lineup of films that we've got going on, and if you would like to submit your film, if it's 15 minutes or so or less, any genre, any year, I think we're starting to get some really nice response. People are starting to know about the short film shootout and what we're trying to do with it, which is really just offer an opportunity for filmmakers to bring their work to an actual live in-person crowd. And I just talked about Vines and how they're getting so much attention. One of the drawbacks of posting anything online is that you never really get to get a personal response to it. You're hoping that people look at it and you look at the little counter that says how many times something's been played, but you don't get an actual sense of whether or not people like it. So the New York Short Film Shootout was designed in part to give people an opportunity for very low cost to bring people together and show films that people will respond to. And you can see how your film is actually being received by actual people. Go figure. And we set the price tag at $10. You can get in to all the entire night, and then you can network with us. There's a drink special that the Treehouse Theater is offering that gives you $3 off your first drink at Pioneer's Bar, which is down the block. So I'm extra selling this one because I think what we're doing is really cool. Vinny Petrosini is the guy who kind of had the original idea, and then we collaborated on exactly what we're doing now. And so far, 5 times into it, we're really excited about it, and it would be great if you were part of it. So come join us, nysfso.com. And of course, don't forget to go to bringyourownlunch.com and follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook and share and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. But enough about that. Let's get back into it with our conversation, part 2 of 2, sitting there with El Presidente, Dion Flynn. It just gets more fun. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with Mr. Dion Flynn. Again, I don't want to give out too much of your story even, but I think there are hallmarks there that I knew about before. I had seen this. In fact, you made a very really impressive post on Facebook, which is almost antithetical, that the idea that someone could make something on Facebook be so meaningful to so many people. But you did tell your story in a very short amount of time, right, about your particular journey. And in the show, you mentioned that very early on, this is actually in your college days, you met Jimmy Fallon.
That's right.
Tell me about how you met him and the thing you did together.
Jimmy Fallon and I met at the auditions or at the casting, I guess, maybe one of the first meetings for a television show that was being produced in Albany. He went to the College of St. Rose. I went to Albany, and they posted an ad in our theater department for local TV show needs comedians and whatever. I was like, hey, let me go try this. Went over, Jimmy got on, I got on, and we were on this show called Loose Camera. It was produced by a guy named Donald Metzner, who still works up there, and he owned Armory Nissan in Albany, and it was it was a huge deal to us. I mean, a huge deal. We were going to be on local Fox Television, our comedy show. And I got to know Jimmy there. Jimmy was hilarious. Jimmy was very serious about his writing. He was going to do stand-up. He would go down to Saugerties and do stand-up at the VHW and then the VFW, the VHW. What is it?
I think that's how you would record things at home back in the day.
That's right. And there's like a UHF and VHF.
Yeah.
But at some hall where guys wear like moose hats or something, he's doing comedy down there.
He's doing it for the Elks and for the Shriners.
And in these little cars, and he's doing, this comedy, and I was always impressed, man. It's not in hindsight. And my buddy Josh Radnor in school, who looks like Jimmy Fallon.
They could play brothers for sure. Yeah.
People say that on the internet. It's so weird to me that they're both friends of mine.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, I would say, was a friend and now has become like this enormous like figure. And I'm always like saying weird things when I'm around him now because I know he has so much power that he can kill people with moving just like one finger.
It's true.
I always say dumb things when I'm around him. But
he inherited the Carson wand.
He did. Yeah. No, it's true, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's a good heir to that throne. I mean, wouldn't you say?
I would say he has modernized, he was able to step in to a very modernized version of what Carson was doing. And it's very hard today. And we're totally taking a different tack, but this is fine. But I think in today's day and age, when there is so much out there every day, every minute, that it's really hard to condense what everybody needs to see at one time.
Right.
And when Carson was doing it, there was no competition. He was the man at 11:30, and if there was somebody who was popular enough to be on the Tonight Show, you knew watching it at home that person deserve that spot.
Right. Unlike now, when it's just anybody can get on there, and I'm on there.
No. But I'm turning even in terms of his guests. No. I mean, in terms of his guests, it's like
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just the first. Look, I'm the guy that reads the comments that people write about my Obama. They go, "Why does he look like one of the Geico cavemen?" And I'm just like, Jesus, the age we live in. When Richard Pryor was on there, nobody was commenting on Facebook and YouTube about it.
But what if
it gives you thick skin, though? You know, it makes you tougher.
I'm sure. But just to answer your question, I think if there's anybody out there right now who is of the day of our time right now. To sit in that chair, I think he is as good as anybody could be. You know, I think he's done a great job.
That is a very measured answer, and I really appreciate that. It's very, nice.
Well, you are my Jimmy Fallon. Come on. 6 years ago when you were telling me about your life coaching thing, I was like, okay, fine, sure, yeah. But now you're Dion Flynn, and now I have to get all crazy with my talking because you're so famous, Mr. Obama.
I got my little Obama thing. It's like a confluence of things,
You are literally the most important person in America.
I like where this is going. You are
literally the most important impressionist in America, in the world. The most powerful impressionist in the world.
I like that.
Eventually got there.
I like that. That makes you want to treat me with a little more respect.
Indeed, it does.
I hope my wife hears
this.
Indeed,
it does.
So when I'm at home, I get some of that respect.
So you knew Jimmy Fallon then, and then you guys were not.
But I got to tell you, listen. Here's the through line was I was talking about Josh. I didn't just get off course.
Oh, yes,
I respected Jimmy at that point. Early on, I respected his work ethic. I really did, because I didn't possess it. Mm-hmm. And I was a big partier. And Jimmy didn't party much, back then. I partied a lot.
Yeah.
And so he went off and worked very diligently, and I got lost for a very long time.
Yeah.
Here's something I didn't tell you in the show. This is fascinating to me. I came to the city to do NYU. Mm-hmm. He went out to California to do the Groundlings.
Right.
This is in 1997 or 98, whatever, 98. Mm-hmm. I run into him on the street in New York City. I've never seen Jimmy Fallon in my life in New York City. Okay, he doesn't live here. I'm just living here for a year now.
Uh-huh.
He's walking down the street. He says, Dion, I see the guy that has the guitar on his back. I notice him, and it all comes into focus. Dion, Jimmy, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I was the first person that he saw after his Saturday Night Live audition.
Oh my gosh.
I see him on the street near 50th, near Sheraton, near, 30 Rock and all that. And we talk. I was like, oh my God, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And just auditioned. He always wanted to go to Saturday Night Live. He had that in his mind back in Albany. It was so clear, his vision.
Wow.
Which in life coaching I learned it's very important to hold a vision. I said, of course you're going to get it, blah, blah, blah. He showed me a book he had, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. He had with him that day.
Wow.
He took a selfie of us. It wasn't on his phone. It was on a real camera.
Wow.
And he said, I'll call you and we'll let you know if we get it. Called me later in the summer, and we spoke for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And we were just laughing and joking, and he had gotten it, and he was so excited, and I was so happy for him, and I knew he was going to get it. I mean, if his doubts were real, I had no doubts for him.
And he killed at that. I mean, his is one of the auditions that is floating around the internet.
It's floating around. He uses a character on there, Dieter Gutboots. He uses the name Dieter Gutboots that I made up back in Albany. Yes,
that's got to.
He'll be the first one to tell you. Yeah, of course it feels good.
Yeah,
it feels great. No, it does. I mean, it's like, what? This
you are
fantastic.
On video as well as audio here, so you have to be really extra sincere here.
No, but let me tell you how the story rounds out. So that's it. And then he says, let's get drinks sometime. When he gets to the city, he calls, let's get drinks sometime. I'm in my second year at NYU, blah, blah, blah. Fall out of contact. Here comes Jimmy Fallon. He's on SNL, and you lose contact, right? Years and years and years go by. And like I said in that Facebook post that you so kindly referenced,
yes.
These were the steps to becoming Obama on the show. You have to be born looking like him. You have to do a lot of other things, in the middle. And
I tried, man.
You tried to look like Obama?
I did.
What actions did you take to look like Obama?
Absolutely nothing.
You just said you took actions. You tried.
No, I tried, but I failed mostly because, like you said, you have to have that work ethic.
But the thing is, all you got to do is, if you had listed for me a couple of push your ears out, you don't look that different from Obama.
I'd like to think there's a lot of similarities between me and the current president of the United States.
It's a lot of pressure. Can I tell you? I did an appearance that was a non-Tonight Show or Fallon appearance. Mm-hmm. I do live appearances sometimes. People call me. They want me to come to a birthday party, and I'll do a speech and whatever. And I write those. It's not bad. It's fun. Except for when Republicans want to take pictures with you choking you.
Oh, no.
And they're like, "Can we choke you?" It's basically a lynching. And I'm a prostitute. I'm selling myself.
Come on.
It's weird. They had his hands around my neck before I could say no, and they took the shot.
Did they have any sense of historical reference and how imagery can affect that?
I can't say nigger on your podcast, can I?
Why not? I'm not going to say it because I don't. I mean, I don't even.
You haven't earned the right to say nigger
until I do my family research, like we spoke of earlier.
You will be discovered to be an octoroon. That is a 1/8 black.
I hope someday I find out.
You want to get the through line on this story?
Yes, please.
Because it's a good one.
I'm stretching it out.
You are, because I don't know what your time limit is on here.
There is no time limit. You have no time limit.
All right.
You are Dion Flynn.
You're very kind and deferent, and that really pumps up my ego after this show, because I feel like when I leave the stage and tell all that I tell in this story in the Only Brown Kid in the Trailer Park, I feel naked. I feel like everybody is going to hate it, and they're going to be mad that they came.
No, it is the exact opposite of what I witnessed myself, like in terms of the reaction of people there and who I spoke to. But what was interesting to me is that when you first suggested coming to the theater after you did your show, I was like, are you serious? Because I'm the exact opposite way. I wouldn't want to do anything after I could do a show, especially one as revealing as that. So it's interesting that you feel that this is helping you, recover
very
from that
much
feeling.
So, very much so, because I need to know that it went well. I need to know that it was received. I need to know that I'm still okay and in the human community. It gets very scary. I used to isolate right after shows, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It's great to have to come back to my family and deal with, I would say a diaper, but my wife would say, you don't change the diapers. But there's messes I got to deal with.
You got to get in on the diaper business.
It's so grounding to be a part of a family, but that's another story. Let me try to get through this through line.
Please, through line.
Because it's very interesting.
This very direct.
It's weird the way it happened, because I was trying to tell you that my respect that I had for Jimmy and his work ethic.
Yeah.
That I gathered by knowing him, live in the early 90s, the mid 90s, 94, 95. It was early, and it was obvious. It was before he was famous. And I got to graduate school, and I would tell my friends in graduate school, Josh being one of them.
Uh-huh.
Can you edit that out?
No, I will not. I refuse. Won't? No, because it's a humbling thing for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm just very humbled by that. It smells like cheeseburgers, and I haven't had cheeseburgers in a long time either.
Yeah, if you were starting to tell me they smell like sweet tarts, I would have a little bit of trouble believing anything I heard tonight. They
smell like sweet tarts.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to smell my sweet tarts? Oh, we're getting silly now.
You live in a 79 Jeep, don't you?
I live in a 79-year-old man's body. I know that much. Now, see, the thing about playing an old black dude is you can get away with saying all kinds of shit. You can just, because everybody's like, God damn, he been through hell, man.
That's true. That's true.
He was on segregation, and he knew Rosa Parks made love to her in the back of the bus. And whatever, but that woman was, anyway, I ain't gonna talk about Rosa Parks.
Yeah, in the brief iPhone day, you can get away with having sex in the back of a bus, and nobody would really ever say anything.
Pre-iPhone, I was pre-phone. But I get to NYU and I start to tell Josh, and Josh remembers this because Josh and I do a two-man show.
Yeah, we were gonna get to that, but go ahead.
And I used to tell him, Jimmy Fallon, man, this guy, he's gonna go places. He's just unbelievable work ethic. And I used the spirit of. You ever do this? You ever borrow somebody's spiritual comic energy? You're like, I'm gonna model myself after this person. Most artists do that for a while.
I'm sure at some point, either consciously or subconsciously, I have.
We would say, did you ever look up to anybody?
Of course,
you know what I mean? You borrow from them.
Plenty, yes.
I borrowed from Jimmy. He would do these, the guy that he ended up doing was like the computer geek guy on Saturday Night Live.
Nick, the computer guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And before that, he would do that in our stuff, and in our shows and stuff, the TV shows. We filmed 2 shows. One aired, one didn't air. One was done with the people that wanted to get together and do a second one in Albany. But anyway, so he would do that, and I would borrow from that energy to do stuff at school. Like I would copy him. I would model because he was so confident. I loved his confidence. So I would model that, and I told friends, this guy's going to be somebody, blah, blah, blah. Run into Jimmy in 98 on the street. We do the phone call, the thing, and then there's no more contact. Boom, done. Then I have my little epiphany while playing in Hamlet at the Public Theater. I get out of it. I go to life coaching. I get on the Big Gay Sketch Show, by the way, in 2006.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, okay. I was on the Big Gay Sketch Show.
You were on the Big Gay Sketch Show?
Yeah, and I had to come out as straight on the Big Gay Sketch Show, and it was not easy. I felt discriminated against.
I'm sure.
It was very frightening for me, you know, to have to.
That community can be very brutal.
To tell them that I actually had a girlfriend. I broke that to somebody. I went to the movies with somebody from the Big Gay Sketch Show hierarchy.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it was considered like a date or anything like that, but I was there.
And I'm guessing this was a male.
It was a male
member of the hierarchy.
Male
okay,
member,
sure
right. And there I was, and it was being friendly and everything, and I was afraid that I was like maybe giving off the wrong message or trying to secure myself. I kind of was like playing it a little vague.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
If anybody is hiring me because they think I'm gay, maybe I'll, I just won't say anything to disabuse them. I mean, we're actors. We've all crossed the gender line at some point, a little fooling around at a party and grab a little bit of nuts and tickle them around.
Why not? Sure, yeah.
It's fun, Yeah. But so I emphasize that rather than de-emphasize that.
You went a further step into.
Yeah, I just I just highlighted what I thought I needed to do. It really was strange. And anyway, eventually I just said, by the way, we're in the movies. I'm eating whatever I'm eating, probably twigs or sticks. And I turned to this person.
No Twizzlers for you.
No Twizzlers. I said, by the way, I have a girlfriend. And then The Queen, the movie we were seeing with Helen Mirren, started playing.
The most ironic title ever for this story.
And I dropped the bomb right before the lights went down.
Boom.
So that was it. I had to deal with the blowback. But I was released after the first season.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
think that's probably why it was.
No, well, you know what? I wouldn't go on record saying that because I don't think it was. I think it was a mismatch. It wasn't my voice. I didn't feel like I do with this show. I don't feel like, but I identify with the otherness of the gay community.
Sure.
With the racial issue, but it wasn't my voice.
Yeah.
And it was causing me, and I could see it, causing me to shrink and shrivel up, but I was also going to massage parlors still, and that messes you up creatively.
The going to the massage parlor.
Happy ending massage parlors messes with your chi. It messes with your ability to stand in your power and create and speak.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be wasting thy seed upon the ground.
It seems like, as much as anything, it's kind of a waste of money. But
waste of money, waste of semen.
Waste of semen. And we all know how precious the Dion Flynn seed is on the black market.
It could be the white market or the black market.
I didn't mean it as a racial. It wasn't a racial statement.
What kind of show you running up in this motherfucker here?
This is a toy. This is my kid's toy. We're not even actually rolling.
This thing is incredible. This gadget you have here.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing what technology does for me because it really just makes us very dummy proof, which is ideal for me.
Look, a lot of years go by.
Have we gone through the through line of the story?
No,
by the way, okay,
because running through all this through line is the Big Gay Sketch Show happens.
Okay,
right? I get on and off of that. You make a lot of money. I see you make a lot of money in TV, even if it's on logo and cable. It's really quickly you can make money, and I really like that.
Sure,
but I'm not my full self because I'm still caught in this addictive cycle.
Okay. Yes.
And so I go really into this life coaching thing, and I managed to be I'm sober from drugs and alcohol the whole time, but there's another kind of inebriety which comes when you go to these massage parlors.
Okay.
And I was experiencing it that way. I know there's people.
How often were you going to them, by the way?
Oh, 3 times a week.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Not of money. It's a lot of. It's just crazy. And but you don't. You get. They say it's prostitution. You're basically paying for prostitution.
Yeah.
And they say with prostitution, you're paying the woman to leave, really, not to arrive.
That's right.
No, it's because you don't want to deal with the intimacy.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's been said.
Yeah.
Plenty. Yes.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with the intimacy. And that was definitely, but you also, prostitution is the proof that you need other people, because you can masturbate or whatever, but you need to have another person. As do it yourself as you want to be.
Yeah.
You eventually at some point you got to have another person there. And I can't tell you how many times I wanted the woman in the thing to like cuddle me.
Oh, wow.
Afterwards.
And I think that there are people who will pay others to cuddle with them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that's a whole other shtick. I found out about that after I got out of that whole scene.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're like, I
was like, I'm like, damn, maybe I should have, just tried that. But my wife cuddles me now.
Which is probably much more fulfilling.
Much more fulfilling.
And maybe or maybe not cheaper.
It is maybe or maybe not cheaper. That's right. Now, yeah. Well, no comment on that.
Well, I don't mean that to disparage your wife. It's obviously there are expenses involved in everything. So,
well, everything costs. Every education costs. You know that, right? Yes. Even losing your wallet. The education is don't wear a big old chain ass wallet without the chain.
Is that what I'm doing wrong?
So the through line here is that I get off get kicked off the Big Gay Sketch Show. And Rosie O'Donnell, by the way, is fantastic. And she's a force of nature.
Yes.
Fantastically nurturing woman.
I've heard nothing but good things. In fact, nothing but good things have ever been said on this show about her.
Here's the thing with her. She speaks her mind. She speaks her mind. Like there are many times on this podcast, I want to say other things that are more vulgar. But because I'm finding my comedic voice. And it usually comes from this lightning immediacy that I want to really share.
Sure.
But I don't always share. But as I share it more and more, like the other day, I thought of this idea. But it's not my comedic voice, but it's funny.
Right.
Like porn movies that are maybe named after comedic movies, popular comedy movies.
Yes.
And I thought, my big fat Greek pussy.
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
Okay, sure.
But you didn't.
No.
Nobody that's here did.
What's funny? Okay, wait. Let me tell you something. Let me share something with you. And this is what makes me an objective person, but a terrible audience sometimes. Right. Is that I as soon as you said that, I started to analyze everything you were saying.
Right.
So when I go to a show, and I don't go to a lot of shows, partly because I have two kids, but partly because I'm an awful audience member.
Right.
I
saw you in my audience tonight. You were terrible.
I was awful.
You were just in the corner, just like.
I mean, Ben Brantley probably will write up this show and mention how bad I was as an audience member. That's how bad an audience member I am. So don't take that personally that I didn't react to what you said.
I tweeted that big fat Greek pussy.
Okay, yes.
And then I had to untweet it. I erased it because it was messing with my conscience. I was like, that's not your comedic voice.
That's not you. That's not you. I think I've done that, and I'm probably many others have done that, but I know exactly what you're saying, because there are jokes that I would love to tell because I think they're funny.
Right.
But I'm not the guy who should be saying them.
God. Now it's on here. So I've just as it's tantamount to me saying it and acting like it's my voice. It's offensive.
Every education has a price.
That's right. It costs me. Well, you'll beep that out though, right? Or cut it?
I'll whatever you'd like. It's up to you. I mean, I'm here to.
What do you think? What do you guys think? Edit it out?
Keep it.
My big fat Greek pussy. Now, when Carlton says it, it's different. What?
I don't think it's funny.
You don't. My big fat Greek pussy.
Ben Brantley of the New York Times says that was really harsh.
That should be my solo show. My big fat Greek. So I get thrown off violently,
which obviously is your voice.
I get violently thrown off of the Big Gay Sketch Show with a phone call, and then I'm just out of the program. It's terrible, and you're not coming back for season 2. I was like, thank you very much. I saw it coming though.
Sure.
I'm starting to meditate. I'm starting to really, get clear in my mind and whatever. And so what happens with the Fallon thing is I'm actually at the Veterans Hospital. I'm going to therapy at one point, and I'm in the cafeteria at the Veterans Hospital in New York City, and I'm just chilling out, and I hear a voice, not exactly like a schizophrenic would hear a voice. I'm not schizophrenic or anything, but the voice was like, my buddy Josh was going to be a guest on the Jimmy Fallon show. He said, should I give my regards? And I was thinking, oh, he's wondering if all that palsy stuff I was telling about was really true.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm wondering, and he's just sort of like, should I mention your name at all?
Should I out you as a liar or not?
Yeah, you just keep it. Was it not really as palsy as you said it was?
Right.
And I said, no, yeah, of course, to give Jimmy my best, God bless. And I'm in the cafeteria, and I know that Josh is going to this thing, and the voice comes and says, ask Josh if you can go with him as part of his entourage. And I was like, really? It's like finishing up my meal, which I had packed from home, because I don't eat much out, because they could poison you. No, I'm not kidding.
With sugar.
With sugar.
Yeah.
Flour. And he says, come on down. And I go down to the Soho thing where he's staying, and I get into the little dark vehicle, and I get whisked up to 30 Rock, and we go in, and I get into the dressing room. And Jimmy's habit when he greets the guests is he goes into the dressing room, and he talks everybody up and says, hey, welcome. And he's very friendly. And he comes in, he opens the door. And there is a part of me that's thinking, like, he's not going to recognize, I don't know, something. It's been like 10 years or something, since that encounter on the street and that phone call that summer.
That was probably the loudest one we've had so far. I didn't know they had 747s taking off next to the pit. What was that?
It sounded like a cat was being like squeezed and dragged and then squeezed again.
That makes me feel better.
All right.
Okay. So you go up to the dressing room.
I'm in the dressing room, in the little, the green room that's provided for Josh. And Jimmy comes in and he's like, Dion Flynn, oh my God. And he grabs me up and he hugs me. He says, one of the funniest guys I know. And he says, blah, 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 blah. And he hugs me again. And I'm like, and it's that feeling you have when you're lost. Excuse me, my colon just came apart. I think it was something I injected earlier.
Sweet tarts.
Oh, it was a sweet tarts. Oh, excuse me. Make sure. No, you guys can't see this. The video folks can, but my colon is actually popped through my belly button and is on the floor, and you can see everything I ate. Anyway,
this is the least through line ever. But continue, please.
Jimmy, is it too long? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying
sounds
that.
like you're being passive aggressive.
No, right? There's not a passive aggressive bone in my body.
Really,
you dick. No,
aggressive.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But what does that mean? The throughest through line. What does that mean?
No, it's the least through line. It seems like everything is conspiring against your through line that you are desperately trying to.
I'm not desperately trying. I'm meandering. It's a black Southern thing. And then what happened was, okay.
This lunch is made of Southern favorite foods, by the way. This bring your own lunch. Catfish and collard greens and some kale.
Some watermelon. Let's just call it like it is. Watermelon is good.
Wait a minute.
I don't eat watermelon.
But great food.
I don't eat watermelon.
I never said watermelon. You said watermelon.
But I don't eat it.
Well, that's your choice, man.
That's my point. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, goddamn. I just knocked over the mic with my colon. I hate when that happens. Oh, God. It's just coming unbuckled. The whole thing.
What the hell is that?
That's my colon.
You ought to see one of those VFW doctors.
It's been swelled up for months. And then finally just let loose.
That's what happens when you eat that peanut butter.
That's right. So I'm in there and he hugs me up and he goes to do the show and I watch Josh do his interview and he sends the producer backstage, get my information. Hey, Jimmy wants you to come on, maybe do some character stuff. So what do? Now I'm still in this like half hiding place that I've been in.
Interesting.
This retreat from. So I submit a writer's packet, which is politely ignored by everyone. Because I'm not really a full-time like writer.
Yeah, you're
I
definitely a performer.
Yeah, performer, and I love to perform. That's when I really like come alive.
That's your thing, man.
So it was like another 6 or 7 months, and finally I sent in a videotape. I did a bunch of characters. I sent it in, and then I said I'd like to, talk with Jimmy and just like, really follow up on this thing that was invited like 7 months ago. Mm-hmm. Finally, I got one of the producers, Gavin Purcell, talked to him, and I really got specific. And I talked with Jimmy for like 10 minutes. And when it got that precise and clear, my request, the next thing that came was an appearance, and I played like a correspondent on some news piece, and then I did like 12 appearances. I did all kinds of different characters, and then somebody recognized that I looked like a little bit like if Obama had a baby with the Grinch.
That's a funny line from the show.
Yeah,
it's amazing to watch somebody who, I don't know, it's like you had, life begins and then everything just kind of scatters. And then at some point it all coalesces into what you have now, which is probably the envy of a lot of people who are in this business, period. And the fact that you have a healthy home life and you have a healthy career is really amazing.
Well, my wife was yelling at me this afternoon while she was holding the baby, and she said to me, "That's good. Go make the audience love you while you're mean to us." Because I had been bitching and yelling about needing privacy and a time to get ready for the show.
Okay.
And she got me. It was like, "You're right. Okay, you're totally right." She convicted me right to the core.
So she was being passive aggressive.
No, she was. Well, you know what? That's funny, because I did say to her, "Are you angry at me?" And said, "Let me know. Tell me." And she said, "I am. I'm angry at you."
Oh, that's healthy.
Because you know what it was? I get very scared before going on stage, and I get unreasonable. And so, but I try to take care of that a day in advance and say, like, don't be here when I'm trying to get ready. Don't be here. And they can't not be there.
Yeah,
it's a 22-month-old and my wife, and they need to be at home.
Right.
It's crazy. But I'm learning how to navigate all that. You don't just go, the show might seem like it ties up in a nice little bow, but you don't go from being crazy and hiding behind drugs and food and extra body weight. I was 100 pounds heavier, which I talk about in the show, to being like sane and perfect and beautiful, and all of a sudden, and I'm not aware of what other comics think about me being on the show. Generally, people don't give me feedback. They don't say, "Oh," sometimes, I guess they do. It's more the people that aren't in showbiz that say, "Love your work, love what you're doing."
Right.
Comics, I don't know. I don't look to them for emotional nurturance. I really don't. And that's been a big lesson too. People in showbiz do better than anybody else what they're supposed to do, and that is be in show business and do routines and things with you. But when you need love and things from people, I go to outside sources.
You kind of have to. I mean, it's like people. I don't share a heck of a lot of my family with people in the business. I mean, I will. It's not like I hide them away, but you need that separation.
Yeah.
You need to have a healthy, self-contained home life, and you need to have a self-contained business life, and they can overlap and they can share a couple things here and there, but you can't have everything all at once. Right. I think it's almost impossible to do. Some people pull it off, but I don't know how people like work with their spouses and have their whole family involved in an entire business. It's like, where do you draw the line, and where do you kind of go get your quiet time?
You know what I was thinking about? Just now, I just told you guys something. And in my mind, I was thinking, should I tell them my wife said that to me this afternoon? Is that too much? But it's always those things that get the laugh. That's what I've learned about this show. It's always the thing. It's anything that you think is approved for public consumption. If there's not a little bit of risk in what you're saying,
it's true.
You don't get laughs.
Yeah.
Because anybody could get up and say it. But if you take that risk, I'm not talking about exposing yourself. I'm not talking about that unprocessed grief and trauma, making the audience feel it for you. No. I mean, artfully taking a risk to put out your humanity in an embarrassing way.
Yes.
And I find that people, as I'm finding my comedic voice as I get older, I find it's always just naming that one thing that really makes you not look so good. I'm always trying to look so good, it's like an addiction in and of itself.
Yeah, you're right. You have to have those little nuggets of truth about you and how that can connect you with the average person. Because, you talk to somebody who if I were to tell somebody, hey, I'm just sitting down with a guy who plays Obama on The Tonight Show, that's almost absurd. My access to people who do amazing things is almost absurd. And to them, it's like, what? When you touch them, are you gilded? It's like there's something about being in this business that kind of sets you apart all by itself. You are different from most of the people walking around on the street. And it's any of those moments where you can identify or allow them to identify something within you in your humanity gives you that connection that says, okay, yeah, I can get what they're doing. I can get them,
I wonder, because there's another approach too, like guys like Christian Bale and Daniel Day-Lewis, and really actors that I love.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you much about their personal life,
I think it's less about the personal life and more about the person on the inside. Like there's some sort of like vulnerability that they can bring to something.
Right.
Even though if it's like something like Daniel Day-Lewis in like Gangs of New York, which is a brutal character.
Right.
But there's a humanity about him at the same time that makes you think, oh, okay, I can almost see. It kind of goes back to what you were saying about giving compassion to people who are mean to you. Mm-hmm. It's like you can see that little bit of humanity in them. And I think as an actor, I think it makes you more able to connect with your audience. Mm-hmm. And I think in the moments in your show where you do that. And
well, that's the thing. When you're playing somebody, that person doesn't think they're evil. The old thing of you're playing Hitler. Hitler doesn't walk around thinking he's an evil guy.
Right.
Twirling his little tiny square mustache. He thinks he's doing the best thing for Hitler, for his cause and his purposes. So you have to find that thinking. It's a terrible thing. I don't want to go on record like being any kind of an apologist for Hitler. I tried that one time, and I tweeted something about dating. I did a dating profile for Hitler, which was like artist, loves dogs, into blondes. What I was saying was, my comment was that people can write anything in a profile, don't fall for it. Because it was like a Hitler.
Right. And
all people saw was a Hitler.
You were using comedy to shed light on a serious subject, which is totally fine to me. It's like you look at Archie Bunker or Eric Cartman on South Park. Right. Horrible, horrible human beings if they existed in real life.
You guys suck. You guys suck. That's it,
right? Yes. And
Edith, give me a beer there, you.
Your Archie Bunker's right on, by the way.
Did you like it?
Used on the show.
Yo, I can't hear it right now, but I can hear it usually when I'm talking to my wife.
Get in there and make me a sandwich, you dingbat. I don't know, mine's terrible. But
that's not bad. No, mine's horrible. I mean, come on.
Well, you were clearly a child of the 70s, so.
I was a child of the 70s, a channel of the 70s.
A channel of the 70s. That's interesting.
You like that?
How many channels did you have, by the way, growing up?
We had 2 through 13, and I think we get like 14 and 17.
I see the full complement, because I guess you're near Baltimore, 10. Close enough to Baltimore to get their channels. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right, so I didn't mean to take that complete sidetrack there. So you got this show, and you just finished what... We can pause for a second. It's fine.
No. I was just wondering if they were finished. If they were, because I didn't know this way we were going to go this long.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm fine. Okay. I'm fine.
Good. Well, we're almost wrapped up. So the beauty of digital is that we can edit out the stuff that sucks. Yeah. So most of the time I'll be talking, and you won't be. No, I'm just kidding. Good. So this was apparently the last workshop of...
What's going on out here?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. What's going on?
It sounds very loud. Hey, guys.
Hey, no problem.
We're recording. Just don't shout. Jesus. And then watch this. Jesus Christ.
President Obama yelled at me.
I like to, sometimes there's this anger that comes up, and I like to just ride it and just for its humor, just to feel it, you know what I mean? Like what I would really want to say right now is, could you guys shut the fuck up? We're trying to record a goddamn podcast. You know who I am.
The initials on the chest say DF. That should mean something to you.
That means the fuck up. But it's not real, and the thing is, like most people, even my wife, they don't understand that sometimes I'm just riding the energy of the obnoxiousness in myself. I'm not really talking.
You're playing it. You're playing a game in a lot of ways.
In a weird
I do
way.
that too. I mean, not necessarily that same game that you're playing, but I do that at home where it's just like you let it ride. See how far it takes you.
Right?
Why not?
It's because you don't really mean it. I could check out of it at any time, but you just be like, "Could you guys shut the fuck up back there?" I mean, for fuck's sake, nobody's recording you on a podcast. You don't have to ruin mine. Jesus Christ. Oh, your little show is over? But it's some real voice in me that's like real deriding and real like alcoholic. Like, and I grew up, my mom could be really lacerating,
Oh, okay, sure. So it comes from a real place.
And did I bring that out in the show? Do you feel like, because I don't want to like, really?
No, I think not the real. I think you painted a very honest picture. You weren't flattering, but at the same time, you weren't you didn't destroy your mom in the show.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's good because she shouldn't be. I mean, there's a balanced picture. She's funny and a little kooky.
Yeah, well, I think we got that. I think there's she obviously cared for you and she cared about you, and that generation of parents, they didn't have a lot of like how-to books to go by. So especially in a case where you had kind of a blended family where it was like, you are one of very few people walking around who had parents who were black and white. And in my case, it was like Jewish and Catholic. There weren't a lot of like, how do you handle that? And there weren't TV shows that depicted those people on TV. So it was like, you kind of had to make it up as you went along, and a lot of mistakes were made. But I think that's what benefits our generation as parents, seeing what they went through. It's just amazing. It's just odd,
That's just noise coming from the theater.
Yeah.
Hey, guys! Hey! The word stooges comes to mind. I just want to say,
shut up, you kids!
Yeah, I lost my fire for it because I don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. All right, so that was apparently the last workshop for this. So what comes next for the only brown kid in the trailer park?
Well, I take it into a period of working. I never worked with a director. So I think a director would really help me at this point. I wanted to get it as far as I could in terms of clarity, important stories, the beginnings of like what the acting would be, and then now I want to get in there and work with a director. I'm talked very extensively and seriously with a college buddy of mine, David Snyder, about directing, and we haven't put the final ink on the contract yet. But that's definitely something I'm thinking about because he hosted it at Hubbard Hall, 2 sold-out shows last weekend, and he's the artistic director there now. And it was great. It was really I need help with some things. I need help being confident about what's needed and some things that need to be cut, and stuff like that. How to pace it. I'm looking to you guys to see if you nodded on things to be cut, but you guys didn't really necessarily go like, yeah, cut that motherfucker. Cut that shit.
If you can bring it down to a tight 15, it'd be swell.
You could take it. It's 90 minutes now. It needs to be about 9 minutes, but it's good. I mean, I liked what I saw up there. If you could just shorten that motherfucker by about 2 days, you'd probably get some people to come.
Yeah, and you mentioned Josh Radnor a bunch of times, and you do kind of regular shows with him now, right?
2-man clanging show.
What's that all about?
Clanging is this voice tick thing that we do where we repeat words back and forth to each other and like these sentences, and they just change kind of some weird things that like maybe like Siamese twins would probably do. Okay, sure. And what I was told by a spiritual guide of mine is that it's called clanging. He heard it.
Oh, it's like a real term. That's
he
just
said,
something
yeah.
you came up with.
Well, I described it to him. I showed it to him. He was actually good at it. This twisting and morphing of the words, almost like a jazz riffing of the words. And each one becomes a new intention and a new character, and it's fun. The audiences love it. They sell out all the time. And I told it to this spiritual advisor of mine who had actually spent time in a mental institution. And he said, oh, that's clanging. That's what schizophrenics do.
Interesting.
And I said, whoa. And so I had a diagnosis then from there on for myself.
You got a little depth to your show there.
A little Johnny depth.
And you've remained close with Josh Radnor, who you credit with giving you another one of those moments of clarity back in NYU.
Yeah, he said, well, I wish you would just use your powers for good. Yeah. Because he saw that I was, in rough shape, and then I, got sober just a few years into, a few months into being in that program, that acting program at NYU's graduate acting program. NYU's graduate acting program. When I first came to NYU's graduate acting program, I talked like this. I talked like I was from Maryland. Maryland, the first state south of the Mason and Dixon line. But then after I left NYU's graduate acting program, I knew how to speak like a white man. And that will get me a lot of things on the radio.
Sure.
It does nothing for me in person.
Well, I dare say you're using your powers for good now.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I hope so.
How do people stay in touch with you?
You mean people that I know or people that I don't know?
I would hope that the people who know you are well versed in how to stay in touch with you.
Like
Obviously, you stayed in touch with Josh Radnor and Jimmy Fallon. If you got those two in your back pocket, you probably are pretty good at keeping in touch with people you already know.
I just like those guys. I mean, they're really. I really am like so just learning about how to have real relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really, sure.
How do they go to DionFlynn.com? Is that what you mean? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
They go to www.dionflynn.com, and that's where you'll learn about all my appearances. I'm going to be in Connecticut. When will this be up?
We're sitting here on a Sunday, and it'll be a week from Tuesday. This may be a
Tuesday?
This may be a two-parter.
Jesus Christ.
You get 2 weeks out of this, by the way.
I'm going to have to promote things I'm doing in 2015.
Don't make it seem like it's such a hassle. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
No. And you have a website where people can find out. It's not like you have to do the work.
You can also follow me at Dion Fly. That's my Twitter handle. And I really regret not picking Dion Flynn.
You can't get it?
I could, but then I have to change I have like 70 Twitter followers now.
You don't want to mess with those 70 followers.
I have like 1,200, okay?
Your joke hit cuts to me because I have just about 70 followers myself.
Really? And then there's most of them family?
They won't do it.
They refuse. Won't follow you.
Yeah, they're like, we hear enough from you as is.
We ain't getting on the Twitter.
I am an octoroon.
You are.
If that's how my family sounds, there's hope.
That's your mother at a barbecue.
That's your person.
That's your mother person. So that's it. DionFlynn.com, Dion Fly on Twitter, and I guess the Instagram too. I'm Dion Fly.
You tell me.
I'm supposed to do more Instagram. The young kids tell me.
It's a constant conversation I'm having these days about Instagram. I have to have an Instagram.
The kids are like, take pictures and put stuff up on Instagram. That's what you got to do. This one lady came out, this girl on the sidewalk, she was like, you should do this all the time. You need to do this. People were like, if you do that and you do this and you play Barack Obama on the thing, you got to do this and you got to do that. I was like, let me hire you. I need you doing that stuff.
Yeah, you have to be big enough to have someone doing things for you. And that's my goal. I don't want to have to do anything anymore. I just want to have somebody paid to do it for me.
You just want to lie there in an air-conditioned room like a big corpulent mess.
Yeah, it's what I do now. I just don't get paid well for it. Come on.
Well, I tell you what, man. I don't know what's ahead. I never do, but I do see you. You get a lot of little acting roles. You put them up there.
I'm doing all right.
You're very humble.
Here and there. I get some work, but not nearly enough.
Really?
But anyway, that's enough about.
But what is enough, though? That's my question.
There's never enough.
That's the addict.
The thing.
That's the addict talking.
Plus, I got 2
need
kids.
help.
There's never enough. 2 kids. I don't know if it's an addiction or just a need to have fresh diapers because my son insists on a clean one every time.
I can't see why.
It's kind of I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's kind of
ostentatious is the word I'm looking for.
It's extravagant.
Yes.
Your son's a little self-centered.
Pretty much.
That's all right, though.
He's a good kid.
So's mine. I love him.
Yeah,
Miles.
Sure.
Hey, Miles. I love you, buddy.
Hey, Miles. Maybe we'll get Miles and Jack together and
Jack and who else?
Caroline is his 6-year-old.
I thought it was going to be Jack and Diane. A little ditty about Jack and Diane. No, but John, I got to tell John Cougar Mellencamp the other day that his lyrics have lived in my head for years.
I was going to add, and we'll close on this because we already did the spiel about how people can get in touch with you, but I'm breaking format for you, pal.
Okay, wow, I appreciate that. And you're good at this, too. That's great.
Just stop. Are you somebody who has ever been or does get starstruck at all?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You do? Okay. So in this, you're obviously on a show where there's a lot of people who come through there. So who would you say?
Can I say this? I was an asshole. I didn't know stuff backstage at first. I didn't know you don't go to the dressing room and try to do pictures and everything. And I was just like, I can't believe everybody's here. Everybody's here. I mean, Ben Kingsley, Tom Hanks, Bill Cosby. I'm backstage with Bill Cosby and I'm talking to him and I do a little taped interview. I had a little videoed interview. It was unbelievable. He said, "What do you need to do when you go out there?" And he's like looking at me and his eyes are like all wide. "What do you need to do when you go out there?" And I said, "Connect with the audience?" "No. Make sure they remember you." And I said, "Oh my God, okay.
Wow.
All right, Bill. You've made $500 million in comedy. I think I'll listen to you."
It's hard to argue with that kind of success.
Oh, but then the whole thing, and then Hannibal the other day, called Bill Cosby out on some stuff.
And
I talked to Hannibal about that in particular. I can't disclose anything that he said.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I will tell you that all of that, I'm only dropping these names so that you get a sense that I'm really on the inside of the inside track.
Yeah. I mean, this is the stuff that ends up on the digital cutting room floor, but it's fun for Dave.
All right. Well, then I'll tell you about the Tom Hanks. I went to Tom Hanks and I said, Mr. Hanks, I've been waiting to tell you this story for years. And I always kind of knew I would, though, too, by the way. That's the other part. You know, I've always known that I was going to try to bring these talents, you know, somewhere.
Yeah.
I said, I was at a party one time when I was in undergrad at Albany, and everybody was stoned and everybody was high and drunk, myself included. And there was a little black and white TV in the corner. The volume was down. And I was watching Peter Scolari and I was watching the other actors on Bosom Buddies act. But I saw you. And I knew you from that show, pretty much from that show. And we liked you and everything. But with the volume down, I could understand every word you were saying. And I'm not a lip reader. And I couldn't understand anybody else. Yeah. And I've always said to myself, it's because you were that married to, you know, suit the action to the word to the action. Advice to the players in Hamlet. That you're so connected to what you're saying that's what makes you brilliant. And I've used that story as an example to acting students or whatever about how a good actor really is in touch and how I realized it by that unforeseen method. And he said to me, which episode was it? And I'm totally dumbfounded. I had this story packaged. I thought he was just going to go, oh, that's so great. I can't
invite
wait.
You to dinner.
You just be impressed. Just be impressed.
Yes, of course, yes.
I thought someone was just killed. The Valentine's Day massacre just happened again. I thought he was going to be impressed with how impressed I was. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yes.
I thought he would be almost seduced.
It would be a moment for him.
Right. Yeah. So, and then this guy, guess what happened today, Rita? A guy comes up to me that plays Obama on the show, and he says that I was great, even back in the olden days. Is that Tom Hanks? That's terrible Tom Hanks.
It was good enough. I mean, I knew where you were going. I knew you weren't playing Scolari.
There's no thing about he's a great juggler. You know, he does the Circus of the Stars stuff. You know, I saw that stuff.
Yeah, that's contemporary.
So, my references are old. Listen, everybody, I spent like 14 years lost in the wilderness. So
You're allowed. I forgot even what
Ben Kingsley said to me, good job out there. I was like, yes, sir, Ben Kingsley.
That's all you need.
And he had watched me do my little bit. I do a bad comedian. I do a bad comedian in life. And on the show, I did a bad magician. And he watched The Great Benito and he complimented me. And I was like, this is like Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley gives you the thumbs up. When Gandhi himself gives you thumbs up.
And Gandhi, plus he also played that guy in Sexy Beast, the exact opposite of Gandhi, the anti-Gandhi.
Exactly. Whose name escapes me. It's not as top of mind as Gandhi. Yeah. But is there anybody, we'll put that little secret thing out there, who would you love to be able to have a conversation with at this point?
I'd love to talk to. Will you edit out the pause just while I think?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Because I want to answer this. I would like to talk to Daniel Day-Lewis, and I ran into him twice because he was getting ready to do Lincoln, a president from Illinois, when I was getting ready to do Obama,
a president. So that's
president from Illinois. So I always felt a kinship with his getting ready process. But I would like to talk to him. I don't know why. Just to tell him. I don't know, can I just pretend like you're him?
Sure.
All right.
If I had a straw. There you go.
Well, first of all, I thank you for doing a little bit of your There Will Be Blood. Yes, I didn't even ask you to do that.
If I had a milkshake.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah. Should I call you Mr. Day-Lewis?
I haven't done that one in a long time. I have no idea if that sucked or not, but go ahead. Sorry.
Is this Dave or this Daniel Day-Lewis?
You see this right here? No, that's not even close to his
that's
Butcher.
Not bad.
Bill the Butcher.
That's not bad.
All right. Well, pretend I'm Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, stop breaking character, and I will.
I'm not committing. That's a problem.
You ready? Mr. Day-Lewis, I just want to try to see you as him and see what I would say.
Straw.
Okay, now I have to address the fact that he's doing his characters while I'm in his boudoir. Okay? Every time you do the character.
The thing is, what we identified earlier, we don't know anything about Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's true. Very little.
I'll just pretend to have an accent then.
I would say to him, Do you truly? Do you have any sense, to the best of your ability to express this to me, do you have any sense of how deeply certain artists and fans fucking worship your craft? Do you understand that? Does that mean anything to you? Does that impact your daily life at all?
Which episode? Boom! Hey, thanks for doing this, man.
That was my pleasure.
It's my pleasure's all mine. So much fun, so cool, such a good guy, Dion Flynn. I can't say enough good stuff about that experience, sitting with him and learning about him. We didn't even get into some of his stuff. As I'm recording this, it's Veterans Day, and Dion had a very interesting experience in the military that he talks about in his show. And if you have an opportunity to go see The Only Brown Kid in the Trailer Park, go see it. It's phenomenal. He's great. And, of course, you can always check him out on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon by just tuning in and watching. It's probably the easiest thing you can do. And if you want to learn more about Dion, of course, you can go to DionFlynn.com. You can follow him on Twitter at DionFly. You can like him on Facebook at Facebook.com/official Dion Flynn. And thank you, Dion. Thank you for taking part in it. Thanks for being here for 2 weeks in a row. And best of luck to you. And as like I said before, when good people succeed, I'm happy. So whatever you have coming, I'm sure it's well deserved. And I'll be excited for you. That about does it for another edition of Bring Your Own Lunch. Thank you for being here for it. Got to thank Banuba.net. Go find out where they'll be and download some of their music. They are terrific. Don't forget about the New York Short Film Shootout on November 18th. That's a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at New York's Treehouse Theater, treehousenyc.com. We will have a great lineup of films as always, and some real good networking opportunities for you if you want to be in the filmmaking business. All right. Oh, of course, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/bringyourownlunch. You can always go to our website, bringyourownlunch.com, for all episodes of this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, past, present, and presumably future. And, of course, the best thing you could do to help out is to go to iTunes, look us up, find Bring Your Own Lunch, rate, review, subscribe. That's the biggest thing you can do. If you like this show, that's the best way you can help. And then, of course, if you tell some friends and get them hip to what's going on here, that's great, too. So it takes a village, folks. And it's a village. And obviously that means we're village people. I don't know. Stay tuned for the Jimmy Jack Cowpunch Hour, followed by Mansoor and the Fish. And until next week, when I have another great guest coming your way, this is Dave. I'll see you next Tuesday.